With big news in the stock market today, big movements, and potential tech sell off. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys all the news, everything that you guys need to know about the stock market, some insider plays, some insider news, and some supports and resistance, and how I think stocks are going to be looking. With that being said, welcome back to another video. NextGen Wealth Tips here. Today, we're going to be giving you guys the overall stock market outlook. Without further ado, let's get started. But to start, Coinbase and Robinhood are two good apps to use. If you guys use my links below, you guys can get free coins and free stocks. And with that Coinbase link, you have a chance to win one Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin is falling, but that's still $94,000 you can win. So why not do it? With that being said, Apple is up a decent amount, almost 1%. We are kind of falling a little bit with Apple, but we're going to be talking more about Apple. We had some great news. They just announced the MacBook Air. It's going to be a 15-inch model, which is kind of insane, and some other big news with Apple. NVIDIA is down almost 2% today. We were kind of falling and then consolidating a little bit with NVIDIA. Microsoft, Meta down, Google up a decent amount, but not too much. We do have another stock, Pfizer is up too. We're going to be talking more about Pfizer a little bit later when we get to the charts. And another insider thing that I kind of pointed out the other day. But with that being said, some news, like I said before, Microsoft is kind of getting to a point where they're cooling down on AI spending, and they're reportedly canceling some of the data center leases. So basically, they're not really pushing too much for AI. So basically, people are kind of wondering if, Microsoft cooling down on AI, who else is going to be cooling down on AI spending also? So basically, with that being said, the tech is going to be starting to go down. With that being said, previously in the past, as you guys know, like the dot-com era and other eras like that, a lot of people invested a bunch of money into these like new future advancements, basically, and AI is looking to be the next one. So basically, dot-com era, the stock market basically dropped after a lot of people started pulling out. And with that being said, AI is kind of the same thing. A lot of people are putting a bunch of money into AI, and then sooner or later, a lot of people is probably either just going to sell it or if we see a sell, we can see the stock market drop 20 to more percentage. And with that being said, breaking this bullish trend, going into a 20%, or to break the bullish trend and go into a bearish trend, we need 20% decrease in the overall SPY. So keep that on your mind because that can bring down stocks even more. And we have been pretty skeptical about a big sell-off coming out soon. Anyway, with that being said, after that sell from Friday, we had a lot of bad news on Friday, and we had probably the biggest red day since 2025. With that being said, for the past couple of Fridays, we have been selling off a decent amount. And Mondays have been the same, so keep that on your mind because we have been doing that recently. So maybe for the rest of the week, Tuesday going to the rest, depending on how the NVIDIA earnings go, we might be looking pretty green, but it honestly just depends. We do have some tariff news. Basically, Trump basically just said that we're still on level with the Canada and Mexico tariffs with that deadline date, which is next month in March. So kind of just saying that we're going to hold strong with the deadline on it. Another thing is Palantir down 10%. We're going to look at the charts a little bit later. Supermicro is expected to meet their deadline. It is by Tuesday, which is tomorrow. If they have everything they need and it shows that they can basically show their financials and they show better financials, you can see Supermicro kind of get up. If you guys didn't know, in the past, it actually happened twice. I think a few years ago, they did it before. And then I think a couple months ago, they actually did it where they're basically lying about their finances. And then they got investigated and the stock price went all the way down to $20. So their deadline is coming up soon. So that can either make or break the stock price. So keep that in mind if you're invested in super micro. And yeah, but MSTR now owns $47.4 billion worth of Bitcoin after the latest purchase. So keep that on your mind. We do have a little bit of a spike with MSTR. Let's actually open up the charts for this one. I don't know why I'm just yapping, but basically to start, Bitcoin is indeed kind of still on that bullish or bearish trend. So do look at Bitcoin at the downside for a little bit more. We will look at the levels like the $93,000 level and then the 93,000 flat for previous levels. And after that, we got to look at the 4-hour time frame for this one. But after we reach that 93, probably 90 might be the next one. But look at 91 first, 90 or 92, 91,000, and then that 90,000 level. And then if we break below that, we can see 89 and break down even lower. I don't think it's going to get lower than 90, but we kind of just have to see with how everything moves. But with that being said, MSTR did indeed just make a big purchase of I think 2 billion, close to 2 billion. Oh wait, no, sorry. I don't know how much they recently purchased, but they now own a total of $47.4 billion worth of Bitcoin, which is kind of smart because they're buying it at the low levels of 96 or 94,000. I think they bought early, like at like 60,000 before, and that's kind of what's been bringing their stock price up. But with that good news, we did indeed get a spike up of almost 300, but it didn't reach that $300 level. So I do recommend looking at that $300 level for tomorrow, and then breaking above. I'll look at the 305 to that 310, and then 320. 320 is going to be key, and then all the way up to that 330 level. But just be very patient with this one. Don't get FOMO because Bitcoin is indeed falling. Just wait for Bitcoin to hit a bottom and start rallying up again. Normally, at the ending of the week to the beginning of the new trading week, Bitcoin kind of falls, and then we start seeing it come bullish again. But that's just history. I wouldn't trade based on history, but keep that on your mind. Another one is Starbucks. And Starbucks actually recently laid off 1,100 employees recently, but it kind of didn't really move the stock price too much. We did have that big fall off on Friday, but a lot of other stocks sold off then. But we're looking pretty strong right now with Starbucks. So that was just some news that we had before. We also had AZN. AZN was a stock that I kind of called out before, but basically there was an option play basically for a bunch of options basically. We get that picture up real quick to kind of explain it a little bit more. But basically, this was on the 20th. But basically, AZN, if we go down to AZN, they only had 800 puts and they had over one, or not over, but they had almost 150,000 call options. And I tried to call this one out for you guys today so you guys can get in. With that being said, we will be doing plays like that in future videos too. But I just wanted to announce it because if you guys could have got in at market open, could have got it at 74 and then all the way up to that 75, you would have just made like a dollar, almost a dollar on it. But that would have been a decent amount of money to get into, and especially if you have multiple shares or just option plays, that could have made you a bunch of money. And you never know. I mean, I pay attention to option plays anyway, but you might be able to go up even more. So keep that in mind. But with that being said, we did have Apple announcing their new MacBook Air, which is going to be a 15-inch model. And they're also investing $500 billion in the US over 4 years, expanding manufacturing and also some AI spending too, I think it said before. But this is just a big thing, expanding. And I mean, they have a bunch of money anyway. But with that being said, focusing on AI, silicone engineering, and just making more things basically. But this did kind of bring the stock price up towards the beginning of the day when it came out. And then we just been, I mean, we're still consistently bullish. But for Apple, I really want to look at that 250 level. Like I said in the last video, 250 level is going to be key. And then going up to that 252, 254.14, 255. And then maybe breaking those highs. I think we reached like 259 before, like midway, and then we bounced down. But I really want to see if we can break that 260 level. But I think honestly, we just gotta be very, very patient with that one, just because like I just recommend being patient with that one. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, with that being said, Palantir is down 10% today, which is insane. $11. I did get into a put option today. I'm gonna hold it a little bit longer. It's gonna be like a longer term put option. But I do recommend looking at Palantir to the downside. We still have some more room to move. We did move down $11, so we literally can get down to these levels by tomorrow. But some of the levels that people are saying is that $86 level to the $85 level. So I do recommend looking at that $85 level. And then even lower than that, we can look at that $78 level, but probably $80 level first. And if we bounce below $80 level, 78. But I do recommend being very patient. But the thing about this one is like to understand that the reason why it went down is because the spending, the government spending is down 8% every single year, and that's for 5 years straight. So this is going to kill this stock for the long term. So people are probably like, oh, this is not a good long term stock no more. So they're all just selling because honestly, like this is over 5 years. This can basically kill any potential deals that can be made and stuff like that. So we're kind of reaching the lows that we had earlier today, and I think we could probably bounce down below that. Keep in mind we have like 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes left of market open, so everything can really shift at especially the 10 minutes before. But with that being said, that's basically most of the news that I have for today, except for some other things. So the SPY experienced a slight decline of 0.1%, while the Dow Jones average rose by 0.3%, and the Nasdaq saw a decrease of 0.7%. The European markets, Germany DAX index initially gained following favorable election results, but later stabilized. So Germany did have elections today. Um, they didn't really move it too much, kind of just stabilized. I mean, it grew a little bit and then it just stabilized afterwards. So keep that in mind. Some earnings, we had Berkshire Hathaway, I guess, reported a 70% increase in the fourth quarter operating earnings, leading to a 5% rose in their stock price. So let's go check that out real quick. So basically a 5% increase within their earnings. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty decent, not even gonna lie. And then the tech sector focus, investors are closely monitoring Nvidia's upcoming earnings, especially regarding its AI advancements. So people are looking at Nvidia for their earnings, AI advancements, and future plans that they have with their Blackwell chips and stuff like that. We are currently falling to our lows right now at that 131. For Nvidia, honestly, for tomorrow, I do recommend looking at that 133 level, that 135 level, and then maybe breaking some highs from today at that 138 level. But honestly, we might be consistently falling. But at the same time, I do recommend being very patient with this one. I don't recommend trading it before earnings, honestly. It might go up, it might go down. I think it's like a 50-50 gamble, honestly. Like a lot of people are optimistic about the earnings being green, but in the past, you guys see people very optimistic about earnings and it still drops. With that being said, to the downside, I do recommend looking at that 131 to that 130 and then dropping down to that 129 and then 128. So keep that on your mind for some things to look at. Some economic indicators, recent data indicating a slowdown in consumer confidence and manufacturing activity has raised concerns about potential stagflation, a combination of stagnant economic growth and persistent inflation. So keep that in mind. And looking ahead for tomorrow, we do have the upcoming release of the personal consumption, the PCE data. The price index will provide insights into inflation trends influencing Federal Reserve policy decisions. So that can really move the market, especially if it shows the rate decision kind of changing and the percentage of it changing. And some global economic policies. Apple announced a $500 billion investment in the U.S. operations over the next 4 years, reflects corporate responses to current economic policies that may impact the future market dynamics. So just keep Apple in your mind. I think Apple is pretty bullish and it's probably going to continue bullish. If you guys want to get an easy play, I think Apple calls is decent. Just wait for it to spike down even more. I think some levels to look at for an Apple call, what I was personally looking at is the 426 level to see how it reacts on this level. If we can get a bigger bounce on here, you can get a decent play. But that being said, thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Let me know if you guys made any money today. Let me know any of the plays that you guys are in. Join the Discord. You guys can come chat on there. Have any questions, ask away. You also can comment down some questions too. I can try to make a video based on it and or just answer your question in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video. Comment W if you guys watch till the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.